Not been able to film for a few days, so we're going to do kind of 4 cycles together up till the end of the game. Spoiler alert. So when last we left, I had already rebuffed one attack from the south. Big picture plan as before. Wrap up the center faster than I lose the south. Um, the big problem with the south is OO is using scramblers, and Eduardo Benez has this wonderful nebula here, and I can't really see what's coming to it. So I'm a bit blind. Plus, there's about 4,000 ships sitting in this nebula here that I've been able to count because I've had a good vision of it basically the whole game. So everything is kind of disguised, which makes it very difficult to plan your defense, especially when you are as spread out as I am. Right? Bear in mind, I think at this point there's probably more like 2.5 or 3,000 here, right? But I am quite spread out, as you can see. I am mostly in a defensive war, which means I don't get to push, whereas Chilombe is mostly not defending and mostly able to push, which is a much better position to be in. And we've got this kind of toehold here that we just managed to get as we started. Okay, so my defensive war continues to be just that, right? And I get some knowledge of what's here, not a lot. And I think this is where we left off. I've got this attack coming in. Now, obviously, I can't currently defend it, but my spread out nature gives me a lot of options to do that, right? You know, I've got lots of potential places to route through. I can don't want to get rid of the orbital cannon, but I could come through here, or I've got smugglers to come across, which is I think what I do. And then we get the fun, once again, double whammy, scrambler, which doesn't even come from a star I can see, so I've got no clue what's in it. Now I've been doing some small sapping attacks, right? I tried to get in on the central party. I just didn't have enough. I actually accidentally left behind some ships, which is annoying. Didn't have quite enough to kind of come down here. So that was a blunder on my part. And in the north, Chilombe is tearing through with his smugglers. We try and do this combined attack. Unfortunately, I should have won this star, and I ended up losing one more ship than he did. Thus, we ended up on the same number of ships, and then he took the star. So that's a fun little bug. I guess it calculates the largest carrier at the end of combat, not the start. And then some other criteria must have determined it. Anyway, so down here, as well as these, he's got another 600 here. And I've got to guess again how much is in the scrambler. Now, my main problem is it's not really guessing how much is in the scrambler. It's working out how much can I safely move away, knowing that there are 4,000 chips here. And so I do the maths and I calculate it. I basically say, okay, as long as there's no more than 3,000 in that scrambler, I got it. Oh yeah, switch on the warp gate for 1 tick to dislodge this one so it comes in later. I was hoping the scrambler would be not be on a warp gate, but not very hopeful. I didn't think it particularly likely, but it was worth a shot. The 50 credits or whatever it was, and unfortunately I was wrong. More ships expected on scrambler. It did kill all the specialists apart from the scrambler, which is good. So I was happy about that, but I also lost lots of specialists as well. Now, in the meantime, Chilombe, we've wrapped this up. I'm bringing my smuggler across here. I want to try and steal some places. I'm going to plan to basically launch on these different things here. And this is going to see you're going to see a familiar pattern here, right? So I now know that there was 4,500 ships here, meaning that down here I had okay, well that's 3,000, 7.5, basically 8,000 ships thrown at me here. Nothing's happening here. These are all just kind of sitting there defensively. Like they've let Yukim's stars fall, you know, pretty much uncontested with no defensive reactions to Chilombe. I go back, right? Right. Whereas they haven't even bought uh, no one's moved up until that last minute there. No one's um, building anything. There's no extra things coming here. And somehow I've got 8,000 chips coming at me, right? Now the same is true. This happens again, right? Chilombe and I have this great idea. I've got my smuggler coming across, moving some of my specs into more useful places, right? Like, all right, we're going to hit multiple of these simultaneously. Right, we're going to hit 3 simultaneously. There's a bellow here, which this attack fails. Goal. No, sorry, bellow, goal, and Lumiere. We're going to hit them all simultaneously. What they do? They defend the one that I'm attacking. Chilombo lands his 2, more or less uncontested. Right? At the same time as I'm losing down here. Now I've had to repoint all of my ships to Lumiere. Right? If I go back, sorry. If I go back before the Battle of Itot 2, Electric Bulu, everything's pointing here. Manda, right? When I lose this, suddenly I've got to repivot like my entire bloody everything is now coming down here, right? All of these stars pointed here, all of these stars are pointed here. There's not really anything apart from the center reinforcing the center, but I do have some nice stars in this cluster, so that's okay. And of course, then I can Kalu down, do Orthisk, and Orthisk move down there. So I'm kind of shuffling down here to keep this defended while forming up the center. There are still 4,000 ships here, right? And again, Chilombe is pushing hard, which is great. It helps me by Yukim being on the back foot. At the same time as he's pushing hard there, right? Yukim's falling. Remember, the grand strategy was Yukim falls faster than I do, so that's clearly happening. All of these stars have fallen, right? The center, I've lost 2. So we're still net gaining 3 now, okay, versus 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I think 8 at this point down here. I'm not 100% sure. Great. Now, of course, ships are pouring in here, and what's this? Oh, look, 4,000 ships coming at me again. I definitely am the more popular target than my buddy Chilombe, both the defend against and attack, right? And everything is now pouring in here. I'd estimated now there's 3,000 on this scrambler. I think I was off by about 1,000 still. I think it was 4. Fortunately, I'm getting about 500 ships. I'm getting about 100 ticks a ship, 100 ships a tick rather. Landing here, 100 to 150 isn't bad. So given the length, right, even at double speed, 9 ticks. So an extra 1,000 ships if you launched everything from my tot. Plus, I've still got things in this that can come too. So while Chilombe is pushing uncontested into Yukim stars here, Yukim decides the best course of action is to attack me, of course, which I defend very easily. I decide to defend with War Machine because this star is going to last to the end of the game, even with War Machine. It gets an extra resources. Can't use the Warp Scrambler, but it saves me about 1,000 ships. And with those, there you go. I've got 2,500 ships left over after just being attacked by 5,000 ships here and 8,000 here, right? Plus, this is now built up. Now, that attack was not even a cycle ago, right? Yeah, I lose here from an 8,000 ship attack. All right, that's one cycle on. The next cycle, I have a 5,000 ship attack, right? And I've still got 2,600 here, 3.6 here. Now Chilombo's giving me some stuff, stuff here. So given how much they throw at me, I'm pretty pleased with what I've got. And I decided to go on the attack. Great, can I land? Can I land? Oh look, they're not contesting. Oh, first of all, they're defending his buddy. They go on the attack again. Cool. Another 1,300 chips. That's not too bad by comparison to what I've had elsewhere. Fine. Still nothing here. Still nothing really pushing back on Chilombe. And then my one attack that comes in. Oh, in the last second, smuggler, 2 gates, 3 gates, war machine, kill one of the smugglers in the process, and they just chuck everything out here. There's now nothing left in this cluster. Right? This entire cluster has about 500 chips in it at this point. And so they threw everything at blocking me from doing that, while Chilombe's got 6,000 chips here. Well, what's he going to do? The most sensible thing, of course, is fine, there's an empty cluster, I'm going to take it. We did discuss it. Chilombe's not being a dick. Do you want to be clear? Dane's not being a dick. Like, it was the best course of action. I'm a little grumpy about it, not at him, at them. Because, at the end of the day, they've just got nothing. You've got no answer to him, right? And even though, maybe with this raider, they could have done the same trick if they had the ships there. Clearly they didn't, right? That raider comes in. It's now got 900 here, provides an attack there. And it's just smacked around, right? Pushing on an open door here. I'm defending heavily. So at around this point, they say, all right, we're done. UKIM is toast. Chilombo is sitting on 70-something stars. I'm on 41. So we're well over half the galaxy. And I say, essentially, not while EB is potentially second place. Tells me he's on 42. I'm on 41. So I'm going to take a couple of these stars. Even now, no, it's fine. But blowing up my stars. I definitely feel loved. So I'll just kind of pointless attacks. There's nothing really going on of interest at this point. Right, the game is essentially done. I've taken that one. When this lands, it's basically impossible for EB to be first place. I don't think he is anyway. I don't think he's lying. I don't think it'd be a really dick move to do so. But I don't trust anybody. So I'm going to take Ilat or whatever it is, and then call it quits and quit as well. So that is the game done. I am almost certain the positions, the final rankings are going to be Chilombe number 1, me number 2, EB number 3, OO number 4, UKIM number 5, Ephialtes is number 6, and then I guess it was Draco, your favorite artist, totally here. Don't remember. Actually, I think it was the other way around. And Basari, who is the troll AI bot at the end. It was fun. I'm going to do a wrap-up video as well when I get the full vision of the whole map and think about what I could have done better. I am happy with second place. I think, if I'm being honest about who played better, Dane definitely played better than me. Certainly the early stuff, I still think I did relatively well given a pretty shit starting hand. I found it annoying not to be able to attack as much as I normally would. I definitely going to think through what I could do different there. Some of this was just that they were throwing everything at me and letting Chilombe have an easy run. I'm guessing that their big strategy was the opposite of ours: make me fold before you can fold. They figure out that the defensive component of before you can fold was probably more important than throwing everything at me. I don't think they have a personal vendetta against me. Weird thing, it's only really my first game. But all told, yeah, Solaris, big likes. Do you think I prefer it to Neptune's Pride? So I might do a differences video or something like that later. See. Hopefully you've had fun watching these. I've had fun playing it. And this is a long game. We're going to be in. I lost track of the cycle so much. Cycle 24. It's been basically 48. Right. So that's basically been 20 days. That's a long game by Neptune's Pride standards. For a 64-player game, this is a 10-player game. So I'm quite impressed by it. Apparently, this is one of the longest games that Dane has ever played, and that we have two of the worst starts he's ever seen. So, very curious to see how everybody else started, and how we compared in the early days to everybody else, and how we then ended up winning when we get to the full vision. So, come back for that last version when I've done it.